Hi, welcome to Sopedia. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to draft a princess dart and a princess bustier. I'll start by taking my shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2. That gives 7. I will mark down 7 here. Then from that point, I will come down by 1.5 inches. That is for the shoulder slope. From the shoulder slope, where I marked 1.5 inches, I'm going to measure down 7 inches. That is for the armhole depth. Where I marked the 7 inches for the armhole depth, I'm going to measure 7 inches from my center front to ensure I have a straight line. Then I will use my ruler to connect the points together. After drawing out my armhole depth, I will go ahead to measure my bust circumference. This is a quarter of a paper, so I will divide my bust circumference by 4. So I've taken down my bust circumference. Now I'm going to measure what I have here, which is 8.5. That is the 7 inch for my armhole depth plus 1.5 for the shoulder slope. I will take down the measurement here and I will mark it down. Next, I'm going to connect the points together, and this line will serve as my chest line. At the top of this paper, I'm going to take my neck width measurement, which is 3 inches, and the neck depth measurement is 3 inches. This is a standard neck measurement. After marking those points out, I will use my curved ruler to connect the points together. Now that the neckline has been drawn, I'll use my straight ruler to connect the shoulder slope to the neckline. Next, I'm going to divide my armhole depth into 2 to get the midpoint of this armhole depth. After getting the midpoint, I will go in by 0.75. I'll mark that down. Then I would use my curved ruler to connect my bust measurement to the 0.75 all the way to my shoulder slope. You can use your free hand to do this, or you can make use of a curved ruler to draw your armhole curve. After that, I'm going to measure out my bust point and my waist line. The bust point measurement is 10 inches and the waistline is 16 inches. I'm going to take the same measurement at the side of the paper to get a straight line when I roll. Next, I'm going to connect the points together. I've just connected the bust point line and I'm about to connect the waist line. So I'm going to label this so you know what each line stands for. So I have the chest line, the bust point line, and the waistline. The next measurement I'm going to take is the nipple to nipple measurement, that is the bust span. This is the distance between one nipple to the other, and the measurement is 7.5. I'm going to divide that by 2 to give 3.75. So I'm just going to mark 3.75 at the chest line and the waistline, then connect the points with a straight line. At the waistline, I'm going to mark 0.5 on both sides of the bust span line. From this point, I'm going to use a straight line to connect each 0.5 to the bust point line. Now, this 0.5 that I have taken will serve as my dart. So 0.5 plus 0.5, that give 1 inch. Now that this is done, next I'm going to draft the princess dart. I'll go to the midpoint of my armhole curve and I will use a curved line to connect that point to my chest line. I'll be using the curved ruler to do this. Next, I'm going to take my waist circumference measurement. Remember, I'm working on a quarter measurement, so I'll divide the waist circumference by 4. I'll mark that down and add my 1 inch that I took for the dart. Then I will connect the points from my waistline to my chest line. After connecting, I'm going to measure each of the dart leg to ensure that both of them are equal. So I've measured the first one and this is the second one. After measuring, I realize I have the same value. So I'll be using a marker to highlight these lines so that you can see them clearly. If you have watched to this point and you are yet to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Do not forget to share this video for others to see. This is the one way you can help this channel grow. Once I'm done highlighting, I'm going to label both parts. This will be 1 and this will be 2. Next is to cut the princess bustier. They are both princess, but they have their similarities and differences. That is what you'll be learning today in this video. So I've measured my shoulder. Next is to take the shoulder slope. I'll be coming down by 1.5 inch. Then from there, I will go down by 7 inch for the armhole depth. To get your armhole depth, divide your bust circumference by 6 and add 1 to it. That gives your armhole depth. So I'm just going to connect this with a straight line. After connecting this, I'm going to roll out my chest line. So I'm just gonna head to mark 8.5 on this paper so I can get a straight line. So this is my chest line here. I've just labeled that. Next, I'm going to mark my bust point, my under bust and my waistline. Remember, for the princess dart, I didn't include the under bust measurement, but for the princess bustier, I'll be making use of the under bust measurements. I'm going to take the neck measurement. The neck width is 3 inches and the neck depth is also 3 inches. And I'll use my curve ruler to connect both points together. Next, I will connect the shoulder slope to the neckline. I would go ahead and label all the horizontal lines. The first one is the chest line, followed by the bust point line. The next is the under bust line, and lastly, we have the waistline. After labeling, I'm going to mark the quarter of my bust circumference measurement. I'll go to my armhole line and divide that by 2. I have 7 inches here divided by 2, that gives 3.5 inches. Then I will go in by 0.75 inch. Next, I will use my curve ruler to connect the points together. After drawing out my armhole curve, I'm going to mark out my bust pan measurement, which is 7.5 divided by 2, that gives 3.75. After marking this, I will use my ruler to draw a straight line connecting both points together. Next, I will go to the under bust line, and at this area I will mark 0.5 inch, and at the other side I will mark 1.5 inches. Together we have 2 inches. Then I will use my curve ruler to draw a curve connecting this point to my bust point. Next, I will go to the midpoint of my armhole curve and mark 0.5 on both sides of the midpoint. Then I'm going to use a curve to connect the points. I'm trying to use a freehand to draw this curve to connect to the armhole. After that, I use my ruler to make a neat curve line. I'll go to the waistline and mark the same measurements that I marked on the other bust line there. That is 1.5, and on this side, ½ inch. After marking, I will use my straight ruler to connect the points. After connecting these points, I will go ahead to blend these parts. I'm doing this to eliminate the sharp edge there. Then I will use my ruler to draw a straight line connecting the under bust upward. After connecting, I'm going to measure each dart leg. The first dart leg will be longer than the second one. So I'm going to take record of the first one and proceed to measuring the second dart leg. Now this is where the second one ends. I'm just going to extend this to meet up with the measurements that I got when I measured the first dart leg. Next, I'm going to redraw the armhole. So see the way the curved ruler is placed, I'm just going to reconnect this. So this is the new armhole line that we'll be making use of. Afterwards, I'm going to mark down the quarter of my waist circumference measurement. After marking that down, I'm going to measure my darts. That is 2 inches, and I would add it there. Then I will connect the points from my waistline to my chest line like this. Once that is done, I will go ahead to highlight all the lines so that they appear very clear. So this is the princess dart and the princess bustier. I'll just go ahead and write out the princess dart on the princess dart pattern and the princess bustier on the princess bustier pattern and label it AB. You can see the differences and the similarities. So if you're yet to subscribe, please ensure you hit the subscribe button. That is the way you're going to support this channel, and I really appreciate you guys for that. Subscribe and do not forget to share, like, and you can as well turn on your notification bell so whenever I post videos you will get the notification immediately, because you do not want to miss out on these wonderful tutorials that I'll be giving to you guys for free. And you can also drop your questions in the comment section, or if there's a style you want me to treat, I would love to hear from you. Alright, here we have our princess bustier, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the princess dart, and this is it, and this is both of them. Thank you so much for watching.